Welcome to North Dakota Hockey Central, your television home for all things UND hockey. I'm Alex Heinert. Coming up on today's show, we'll recap yet another sweep for the top-ranked team in the country with head coach Brad Berry before turning our focus to this weekend's next test at St. Cloud State. We'll also head into the penalty box for a chat with senior D-man Andrew Peski, but first, it's time for an all-new edition of UND Hockey's web series, Through These Doors.
Here we go. No! Hidden bagger.
Smitty's a pro at this.
He's ready?
You got it.
That's coming in. Nice. Stretch it out. Stretch it out.
For Brad Berry, the workday starts before the crack of dawn.
Usually get up around the same time, around 5:30 or 5:45, somewhere in there, and usually start off by stopping at Starbucks and getting a venti pike. And it's funny, you kind of see the same people at the same time every day when they come and get their coffee here, and then drive to the rink after that. So you have your preparation as far as what you do early in the week that builds up into later in the week, which obviously culminates into the games on the weekend. But you know, for a head coach, it's, you know, trying to organize, you know, your week ahead as far as, you know, what you want to do on the ice, you know, what you want to work on, what do you want to do in the weight room as far as maximize your time and building strength with your players. And you know, here we are in mid-February right now, and you know, I think the focus has to be sharp. You know, it's this time of year where, you know, you call it the dog days a little bit here, that, you know, playoffs are around the corner, but you still have 6 regular season games left, and they're very critical in setting up for the playoffs here. So you really want to try to be efficient with your time as far as, you know, getting the things you want done in the weight room and on the ice, but not stay too long, because obviously energy is going to be a big thing at this time of year. What we want to work on is focus on a little bit of trying to get better in a couple different areas where we could have been on the weekend, and then also trying to work on a couple of things that probably St. Cloud does that we want to try to negate when we play them on the big rink. We're going to be practicing on the Olympic-sized rink today, and that's a little bit different than normal, because our main rink is 200 by 85 feet wide, and this one's 200 by 100 feet wide, so it's a little bit wider. So again, we want to do some things on the ice today that kind of replicates what St. Cloud rinks is dimension-wise, and go from there, just to give our guys some reps on that. Usually go in and talk to the ladies today here. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Hey, that was outstanding yesterday. That was really good. Thanks for all you do.
A program like UND requires a great deal of planning during the week, from getting facilities ready to watching videos.
Hey, Chiz, how you doing?
Well, how are you?
Good. Watch all the NHL highlights and kind of see what happened around the NHL with our alum and different things, and then we kind of dig into some video and then talk about practice as far as the things that we need to work on here. We spend a lot of time in this war room. Everybody has their individual office, but I'd say about probably 90% of our time is devoted to this room and kind of talking about our group and recruiting and schedules and different things like that. So a lot of things get done here, and everybody spends the majority of their time in here. Coach Jackson, how you doing?
The coaching staff recognizes the work he puts in every day.
He's a super hard worker. He believes in everything he's doing. He lives everything he's doing. So I think that's the biggest thing of being a great leader, is kind of leading by example and kind of showing every day and how you treat people and how you work and how you handle things around here. I think his care comes through. To show, you see how much he cares about his people, our staff, and about the program. And I think that's why he's such an effective leader.
When practice rolls around, Coach Barry demands a sharp focus from his players and observes how his plans take shape.
Instead of 4-on-2, let's go 4-on-1. We got 4 lines, and then we'll just have 1 D-man go in. Okay. One thing, wide ice surface on entry. Let's make sure we hit nets here. Hey, hit the net on the wide entry. Sides on the side. Yeah. Hey, good job on that drill. That's it. Pesk, good job on that drill coming across the ice. Attaboy. Hey, Holmes, did that start with a tip, kind of a high tip, and then come in, or how'd that start? Okay.
He communicates a lot. He communicates well. And I think he's just everybody knows that he's a very integrity, character-filled type person. And I think they just kind of appreciate his honesty and what he kind of stands for.
Power play! Power play! Nice shot. Good play! Get it out! Get it out! Should we start the next time with just face-offs? Or what do you want to do, one more time each? Okay.
Brad has so many different things and different constituents that he's dealing with, and he does a great job. He works extremely hard and puts in a lot of time, and he's very conscientious, and he's taken, I think he's really handled it really well as far as all the different things he's got to deal with. He shows a lot of attention to detail on all those different matters, and I think has really good relationships with a lot of people in a lot of different areas. I think his communication, how he deals with guys, is outstanding, and I think I've seen him take a real kind of step in growth, I think, just going from being an assistant to the head man.
Gotta love it. Well done to Cassie Niles, Tyler Hasted, and the entire Through These Doors team. We are just getting started on North Dakota Hockey Central, as after the break, Brad Barry drops in to look back on a 6-point weekend against the 6th-ranked Denver Pioneers. That's next. Welcome back to North Dakota Hockey Central. Time for our weekly conversation with UND head coach Brad Barry, who's coming to us now from inside Ralph Engelstad Arena. Brad, as always, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Your team returned to action this weekend against number 6 Denver and didn't show any signs of rust following the bye week. How pleased were you with the sharpness of your side from the jump on Friday, despite the 13-day gap between games?
Yeah, no, that's always a concern, when you have a little bit of a break. But, I thought the break came at a good time, and, not only physically but mentally taking a kind of a time off a little bit here to reset the batteries or to recharge the batteries and get going again. I thought we came out hard on Friday night, taking the lead right away and never looking back. And it was one of those things where we won 2 games 2 different ways, and we had a little bit more goal support on Friday night, but Saturday I was really proud in the fact that our guys locked down the game when it was 2-1. They made a push in the third period on Saturday, and our guys found a way to win on like a playoff type game.
You get the 4-1 win in Game 1, followed by a 3-1 victory in Game 2 to get your first home sweep over DU since your first season in charge. When you factor in the way your team played and the caliber of opponent, how satisfying was this sweep?
It was very satisfying to win, but again, saying that we don't like to use the word satisfy because we never want to be satisfied. We want to keep pushing the bar and have that attack mentality. You know, it was a playoff type game. It was a team that was 5th overall in the nation coming in here, and we needed to do a good job as far as playing as a team, and I thought our guys did that. So, you know, proud in the fact that our guys found a way to win 2 games against a very, very good team.
There were a number of similarities between the 2 wins this weekend, though maybe the biggest was the play of your team defensively. Only 5 goals allowed now in the last 5 games. What's been the key to locking down teams like this?
Well, I think it's team playing together as a team. You know, when you look at it, you think of goaltending. When you don't give up a whole lot of goals, or you're stingy on the defensive side of it, you think the goaltending is where it should be, and it is. Peter Thome has come in and done a very good job. But in saying that too, our defensemen and our forwards have been working together as a 5-man unit in front of our goaltenders, as far as, you know, having tight gaps on pressuring pucks, on defending very well in our zone, and breaking out pucks so you don't spend a lot of time in our end of the rink. So, you know, I think our team structure and our overall team game has led to good defensive play, which in essence leads to good offense.
You just mentioned him, but spearheading that effort in goal once again, Peter Thome, who continues to deliver the goods. He's now 6-0-1 in 7 starts this year. How have you seen his game grow and his confidence level rise this semester?
Well, patience. You know, I think patience in a lot of regards. You know, he was patient for his next opportunity to come in goal and play, and he's made the most of that. You know, he's been patient in net. When you watch him now in net, he's not kind of, you know, bouncing everywhere, you know, making, you know, high-end saves, kind of leaving his crease. He's composed, he looks confident, and he's patient in the net, and he's developed an inner confidence there, which sometimes is tough to do when you're not playing all the time. You know, and I go back to Carl Gehring helping him out, and, you know, not only on the physical side but the mental side of the game, and those guys combined on you know, building his game and turning it into the performances that he's had.
Yeah, good to see Pete have so much success. Special teams was really good again this weekend as you notched 3 more power play goals and gave up just 1 on 5 chances. You've mentioned consistency being key to the success of those units. That chemistry has really paid dividends for you.
Yeah, for sure. You know, giving those guys, you know, through good times and, you know, dry, you know, if the power play goes dry for a couple of games, of not just panicking and trying to throw other guys on those units, you know, giving those guys a little bit of skin in the game as far as, you know, trying to get better each and every practice, which leads into each and every game. And you know, now they're developing a chemistry and consistency together. They're feeling comfortable of knowing where each other, each person is on the power play in their spots, and knowing their routes on the breakout, and finally executing once they do get into the zone. So again, it's not just the one unit. Both units have done a really good job.
Friday's win meant you clinched home ice for the conference tournament quarterfinals for the 17th time in the last 18 years. How good does it feel to have that box checked with 3 weeks left in the regular season?
Yeah, it feels really good. You know, you never want to kind of go down to the last weekend or two to try to clinch home ice. You know, we saw that last year. I mean, we made a desperate push last year and just fell just shy of making the home ice. And you know, there was that inner pride of not letting that happen again, and obviously sending the statement early on getting it, try to get it done as early as we can. Check that box, now we move on to the next one. We really dearly want that Penrose, and you know, we know there's 3 weekends with teams biting at our heels here trying to get that, and we really want that, and that's the next box that we want to check.
Yeah, you will continue the quest for that next goal, that Penrose Cup, on the road at St. Cloud State this weekend. You swept the Huskies in Grand Forks back in November, but Brett Larson's team is much improved since that weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we had a little meeting today, and we're going to get into some video and obviously some on-ice preparation for some drills. You know, about St. Cloud and what they do. You know, they were 5-2-1 in their last 8. They haven't given up a whole lot of goals. They beat some really good teams. They're playing very well right now, and again, we got to make sure that we keep our foot on the gas here. But again, even though obviously we respect that team, we got to make sure that we bring it as far as what we have to do. I think that's been the kind of the MO of our team here is, you know, is making sure that we worry about what we do and getting better in each day on how we have to play the game and dictate from that side of it.
Well, Brad, your team has done a great job handling everything this season has thrown its way so far. We're excited to see the journey continue this coming weekend in St. Cloud. Thanks again for the time and best of luck against the Huskies.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
So many of Brad's players have improved exponentially under his watch, including senior defenseman Andrew Peski. We're going to hear from the Ottawa native from inside the penalty box right after the break. Andrew Peski, senior defenseman, welcome to the penalty box.
Thanks for having me.
Senior defenseman, how fast have these 3+ years gone by for you?
We've been talking about it ever since we got back from Christmas. The first 4 months of the season, once it started playing Manitoba, feels like it's flown by and kind of freaking me out that I'm going to be in the real world in a couple months, but no, it's all good memories and excited for the next couple months here.
Let's talk about memories. Let's walk down memory lane a little bit. When you first came to campus, think back, even your first visit here, who was the first player that you met? Do you remember who the first guy was that you bumped into on campus? Think back.
Long time ago. First guy I met, probably not the most friendly looking guy, but was General Patton. Came into the room and he talked to me, and a little intimidating, but a great guy.
Yeah, that's first impressions of Steph would probably be intimidated.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
as a 17, 18-year-old.
Exactly.
When you began your career, Andrew, I would label you more as a stay-at-home type defenseman. We've seen you grow into more of an offensive threat. What do you think? Is that accurate, by the way, over the last couple of years?
I think so. I think I've just learned to be a little more comfortable out there. It's amazing what 4 years of experience does. When we came in this summer, the coaches said that they wanted to expect a little more out of me and all ends of the ice. So I've really been working on my D zone and offensive zone. So it's been working out.
Yeah, is it fun to activate more from the back?
It is fun joining up and not being backed by the goalies. They're good guys, but you usually want to spend time away from them.
You were from Ottawa originally. I don't know if you know this, but I feel like the Senators have kind of started to like UND players over the last couple of years. You got
we got
three
a
of them, a couple of them on the squad. Are you a Senators fan, by the way, first of all?
I grew up watching the Senators, so there'll always be a team I cheer for, but I'm actually a Kings fan.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
That's fair. A little more success lately.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's calling you a bandwagon.
No.
Nobody's saying that.
Leave that for Kawaguchi. He's the bandwagon guy on our team.
So with Jacob and with Johnny and with now Shane all being drafted, Wooly, of course, from a couple years back, do those guys come to you and say, hey, what's Ottawa like? Have you been able to give any advice about what their future city is going to be about?
Actually, we've hung out a few times when they go down to development camp.
Oh,
they
sure.
usually get a couple days off, so I'll take them out for a nice dinner or show them around the city. So. Yeah, no, they definitely come and seek some advice about seeing the nice areas of Ottawa.
Yeah, and Ottawa, of course, is the capital of Canada as a whole. It's in Ontario.
Yeah.
When you look at your province compared to the other provinces, where does Ontario rank? If you were going to power rank provinces, are you up near the top, or is it kind of meh, kind of in the middle?
I mean, if I did say I was at the top, it might be a little biased, but I think some of the greatest cities in Canada are in Ontario. Toronto, Ottawa. We'll stick with those ones.
So
yeah.
Hamilton's not going to make that
not
cut?
Bad. It's not bad.
Dundas didn't make the cut?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, one thing, you obviously have lived in the U.S. now for the last handful of years.
Yeah.
Once hockey's done and you kind of can choose where you want to live, do you go back across the border, go back home, or do you stick down here in the States? What's it going to be?
I don't know. I've really enjoyed my time here. It's been about 5 years since I've moved permanently from Canada. All of them have been great cities. I was in Nebraska for a year. I've been in North Dakota for the last 4, and I've made some great friends and great memories. So I don't see a reason to leave here in any hurry. But hopefully, wherever my hockey or career takes me with marketing, it's wherever I end up. Not too worried about that.
Yeah, well, whatever country you decide to settle in, they're going to be proud and happy
Absolutely.
to have you in their
Exactly.
borders.
Thank
Andrew
you.
Peski, good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Get out of
Thank
the
you.
time. Andrew Peski. By the way, that interview went on for over 10 minutes, and we could have used pretty much all of it if not for the time constraints of this television show. Best of luck to Andrew, a really sharp young man with a bright future. Speaking of future, when we return here on North Dakota Hockey Central, we will shift our focus to the weeks ahead for UND, including a look at when the Penrose Cup could be clinched. Stay tuned. Let's take a look now at what's happening in college hockey, starting with this week's USCHO.com poll, where North Dakota remains a near unanimous #1 after their sweep over DU. Bradbury's club picked up 49 of 50 first-place votes, with the lone dissenter casting a ballot for Minnesota State, who does remain the lone team to win a series against UND this season. Thanks to their 6-point weekend, North Dakota has re-established their 8-point gap at the top of the conference standings with just 6 games to go, while securing home ice in the league quarterfinals in the process. This coming weekend sees all 8 NCHC teams back in action as the stretch run officially gets underway. UND fans will be monitoring the goings-on in Kalamazoo, because if Western takes at least 5 points against Duluth, and if North Dakota earns another sweep, then UND would clinch the Penrose Cup this Saturday night.
Obviously it's exciting, but I think we're just kind of trying to keep ourselves level-headed, and obviously, as you said, take it day by day and making sure we do get the points and making sure we do secure the spot. So I think that's just what we're trying to focus on.
It's last year's Penrose Cup champs against the favorites to raise the trophy this season. You can watch game #1 at 7:30 p.m. on Friday right here on MidcoSN, while game 2 starts at 6 p.m. and will air on Fox Sports North. We hope you enjoy the games from St. Cloud this weekend and that you join us again next week on another edition of North Dakota Hockey Central. Until then, on behalf of all of us here at MidcoSN, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching.